Coming up on today's show, it is Broadway in Cleveland. It is your first look at the 2022-23 KeyBank Broadway series coming to Playhouse Square.
Plus, we're dining out downtown, and this is a delicious stop you might want to make before the show.
And a day of fun for the entire family. New Day Cleveland starts right now. Welcome to New Day Cleveland. Thank you so much for joining us on this very exciting day. And who else would I have sitting next to me to kick off the show than President and CEO Gina Vernesi? It is so good to see you.
Always great to see you. Welcome back.
Oh, you know what? This season is going to be spectacular. Things have changed so much since the pandemic. We're getting back into that normal feel. And we're kicking off this series with a show that we would have seen before the pandemic kind of changed things on us. So it's back and it's going to be better than ever. We're talking Les Mis.
Les Mis, and you know, millions have seen this show, and even despite that, for some, it will be their very first time when Les Mis comes here this October. They're coming to Playhouse Square to open the national tour. Of course, it is that soaring musical with those complicated and multi-layer vocal arrangements that really engage the hearts of the entire world. This truly is the world's most loved musical. Every year when it comes here, it just brings throngs and throngs of people here. It's the story that is about good and evil, justice and injustice, you know, the haves and the have-nots. And because of how this story has been created, how it tells the story of, you know, coming out of the French Revolution and the injustice for needing a loaf of bread, right? Like something so basic to feed one's family, and how someone still finds hope, finds redemption, finds their passions. It really makes everyone coming out of that, you feel like a better human being. We all feel like we've had the chance to follow that same path.
It inspires all of us.
It does, and this continues to deliver audiences like nothing else.
There's a reason why it is one of the longest Broadway productions running of all time, and that is why you have to come and see it.
You do have to come see it, and the reason you need to come see this particular production is because again, it's been slightly re-envisioned, and there's going to be something that is a richer look. As a matter of fact, this particular production is so large. It's going to be in the KeyBank State Theater because literally it doesn't fit on the stage of the Conner Palace. So it's something that really needs like that large loading dock, that expansive stage in order to make it work. Honestly, I just can't wait for audiences to see it.
I don't know how we're going to follow this up, but I have a feeling you're going to find a way. This is going to be spectacular.
Well, if I could find a favorite place at Playhouse Square, it might be right here in the kitchen of the Crown Plaza at Playhouse Square, because I'm with Bernie Barrett. He is the head chef here. Boy, it's great to see you.
It is great to see you, Dave.
You know, you look like a real chef.
I do?
You certainly do. You certainly do. And I think we're going to make something that I like a lot here. I smell like barbecue ingredients here.
You do. I'm going to prepare a barbecue pork butt that we use for a sandwich that we feature here at the Ghost Light Restaurant.
Can I open this baby up?
You sure can.
So take a look at this, huh? So there it is. You got a nice fat on it.
Exactly. We're going to start with about a 6.5 to 7 pound brisket. And when I start with it, the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to add some concentrated apple juice. Make sure.
Oh, you protected me from the spray.
Yeah, see, there we go.
I told you he's a pro. I love it.
You've probably seen me pour before. You'd know why I did that. Some liquid smoke, kosher salt, spoon on a little bit of garlic here.
How long do you cook something like this?
This is going to go in the oven for about 6 hours. We want it very, very tender.
What's this one?
This is cumin, ground cumin. This is very important. Now this is a mesquite seasoning, again to add a little bit of smoky flavor to it. Cracked black pepper,
See, when people make this at home, they probably go like, oh, that's way too much. But it takes this, doesn't it?
There's actually a reason for it, because we're going to shred this all up in its juices and everything, and it seasons everything up throughout. And last but not least, I like a little bit of heat. Not a lot. So I got some ground cayenne pepper that I'm going to use there too.
See, I get too close out, I'll be sneezing.
So that's that. That
Okay.
will go into the oven for 6 hours.
Is that uncovered or covered?
What I'm going to do is I'm going to cover it first with some parchment paper and foil. 350 degrees for a good 6 hours. And if it goes a little longer, the flavor just gets a little bit better.
Okay, let's switch them out and see the real one.
All right, so this morning I popped one in. 6 hours later, that very same roast that you saw.
Okay, here we go, folks. And the best thing about this is the smell you get in the beginning, right?
Oh, it hits you right away. It hits you right away. It's great. Now, if I can only get it uncovered,
You
can
did
see
good.
What I got. All right,
Look at
there
that.
we go.
So it shrinks a little bit.
We're going to get some shrinkage. We probably lose about 20% on the roast. We have all the juice, all the flavoring, all the seasoning in there, ready to go. I'm going to grab a couple of forks, and I'm going to grab a couple of good chunks of this. I'm going to break it up.
They call
You
it
can
pulled
see-
pork, but you can smash it, pull it, whatever you want, right?
Yep. And what I've got here, again, is just enough. Get all that juice back into the meat. And then I'll take a bun that we have made here locally for us. So we're going to be nice and generous. This is the way we serve this here with the pork. There we go.
It's looking good.
We're going to hit it up with some Memphis barbecue sauce.
Hey, so when folks
not
come
cool.
here, they can come here before the show. Come here before the show. You know, it's always tough to get a place to go before the show, but we got a big place here.
Big place here. We seat about 65 to 70 people out front. This would be good just the way it is, but what I did is I've got 2 pounds of shredded cabbage,
You're going to slaw it up.
and I am, but I'm going to give it a little unique twist. I've got some red bell pepper, some cut green scallion onions, and some shredded carrot.
Hey, so what time do you guys open up for people who want to come here before the show?
We open up at 4 o'clock on Saturdays and Sundays. That way, especially for Sundays, with the earlier shows,
Yeah.
you have plenty of time to get a bite to eat before you head over to theaters. The rest of the week, we open up at 5 o'clock.
I tell you, I love that fish you have too. What's that fish dish?
It's a nice big piece of walleye.
Yeah.
Very simple presentation, and very, very popular. It's perfect right now during Lent with the
Yeah.
fish fries.
Right. So if you're not going to the show, come on down to the Crown Plaza Hotel down here, Playhouse
Come
Square,
on down
check that
for
out. Hey, well, how about that great dip? I know my kids love that.
We do a couple of different ones. Right now we're featuring a Reuben dip, but for today I prepared for you an Asiago cheese dip, which is a combination of Asiago cheese, sun-dried tomatoes, a little scallion onion, and we serve it with a Asiago garlic buttered crostini that you can use for dipping.
Looks
It's one
good.
of the shareables that we have.
And, you know, talk about shareables. This might not be devised as a shareable, but you know, 2 people might fight over this.
Well, this is our handhelds, and we like to joke that just try to get that out of my hand.
There you
There's the
go.
sandwich.
That is one beautiful sandwich. So come on down to the Crown Plaza Hotel, Playhouse Square before the show. Maybe without a show, just come down and eat your beautiful food. How about a lot of high elbows?
There we go.
Thank you, Bernie.
David. Thank you for your time.
A day of theater for the entire family, an event you won't want to miss.
I can't believe I'm about to say this, but Cats is coming to Cleveland.
Back again and again and again, more than 9 lives. It's really fantastic because Cats, which opened originally in 1982, so almost 40 years ago, keeps introducing new audiences and new generations to this really wonderful story. Of course, the music is by Andrew Lloyd Webber.
Incredible.
This is really what launched a whole new era in touring Broadway. In the Andrew Lloyd Webber and his partnership with Cameron Mackintosh as the producer, because Cameron Mackintosh, when Cats went out on the road, really made a commitment that he was going to deliver on tour the same production and the same production values of what was seen in New York City.
Wow.
And so when we think about how audiences have grown over the years, we need to give some credit to Sir Cameron Mackintosh for his vision of what he has delivered to the entire world. But it tells that story of these cats based on T.S. Eliot's book. about these poems of these sort of these cat-like figures and how they are all going to the ball, and it delivered also like this wonderful, most memorable, right, song called Memory.
Beautiful song.
That it is. Whenever that particular song was conceived, it was really being conceived not that the cats were ragged or that the cats were unwanted, but that the cats really were a thing of beauty. And once they sort of hit on that soul of this particular song, it really just like literally took flight.
And the thing about this one is, I remember as a kid, I never had the chance to see it, but I remember knowing those who did. And I think this is that generational show that if someone saw it when they were a child, they can bring their child now to, or if a grandparent had taken, it's a family affair kind of thing because it's very nostalgic.
It is very nostalgic. It is, it's creative. It has hope, and it's a beautiful production. And you know, cats, I mean, the whole image of cats are the things that you love to pet, you love to have. They have personalities. And to see how the actors in this production, how it was conceived about how they actually, move around, not like singers and dancers in a typical Broadway musical, but they really do move around like cats and have the persona of that furry feline that really, it just resonates with audiences in such a special way.
Well, that's how you have to know that too. These actors and actresses are so talented. I mean, to be able to do a whole production like that, it's truly remarkable. And there's clearly a reason why this has stood the test of time. And we'll probably be back in Cleveland someday again.
Yes, forever and now. Or is it now and forever? I think that's it.
Now and forever?
Yes.
Listen, forget the 9 lives. It's going to have dozens and dozens of lives here. Beautiful production, and it's one that you don't want to miss.
Daniel Hahn joins us. He is the Vice President of Community Engagement and Education. Sounds like a lot of stuff, and it is a lot of stuff, isn't it?
We got a lot going on, that's for sure.
Well, you certainly do. And I tell you what, you blow my mind when I see all the things you do with all the young people, the young talent out there, the high school students and that sort of thing. And you put together a program for them this year that's really special.
We really did. Thank you, David. You know, Family Theater Day comes but once a year, and we're doing it live and in person back here at Playhouse Square on Saturday, April 30th. We have a lot of live shows in the theaters and then a number of free events just all over the campus.
Let's talk about some of those shows. What's in store?
Well, we've got a wonderful show called Dino Light, which is almost like glow-in-the-dark dinosaurs. It's an acting company called Light Wire Theater because the wires that make up the costumes are made of a luminescent wire that emits light. So you can do anything on the stage, literally anything in that black light. So there's giant birds as tall as the proscenium. There are Tyrannosaurus rexes using lightsabers and fighting, and just beautiful music throughout the whole thing. Kids are really going to love this show.
That's the kind of thing they remember for the rest of their lives, doesn't it?
Yeah, you can't really beat it. I mean, it's won all these awards. It's played here before, and we're so excited to have them back.
That's great. What's next?
Well, we've got a really intimate show for the youngest kids, for really the preschool, age, the 3-year-olds. It's called Doodle Pop, and it's from South Korea. And it's these 2 playful kids who doodle on a whiteboard that then is transformed with video, and then they have live musicians on the side of the stage into a world of imagination where they go on an adventure seeking a turtle, helping them find home. It's really beautiful and funny and inventive, all wrapped into one.
You know, it sounds funny you said that's for really little kids, really young people, but I imagine their parents with the children, what an enjoyment that is.
Well, especially, you know, you get some of these international shows where you're going to get a chance to see some of the top work from around the country, but here at Playhouse Square. And the next show actually is also from South Korea. It's called Snap. And it's by this company called Grujarm, which when it's translated from Korean, it means the space between reality and a dream. And that's exactly what this show is. It's a number of illusionists. There's an alchemist who takes objects and turns them into dust before your eyes and then reanimates them. There's a playful character who wears all white, and whenever he touches an object, the colors of his clothes change. Just really inventive, creative illusionists. It kind of reminds me of Charlie Chaplin, the way they wear those bowler hats and those suits and move around the stage. Again, all these shows are nonverbal, so anyone from anywhere can enjoy them. It's really delightful.
Not even seeing the show, I'm excited about it just by watching your enthusiasm.
No.
How do you find these shows?
Well, there's often these international conferences that bring work together. I talk to my colleagues from around the country, some cases around the world, and we say, you know, look at what shows might be coming and what can we get. That Snap show, for example, came from our friends at the New Victory Theater.
Well, that's
so
terrific.
That's one of the ways we find shows.
And there's one more?
Well, there's another event that we've actually got, and all these, I should say, the reason we can do these shows for just $15 a ticket is because of our friends at University Hospitals, Rainbow Babies and Children's Hospital, subsidize these programs, so we couldn't be happier. And then the fourth theatrical that's a non-ticketed free event, it's called Priscilla the Dinosaur. I brought a dinosaur up from Florida, David, and she's gonna walk all around the campus starting from noon to 4:30 every half hour, and she roars and kids can get their pictures with the dinosaur, and you know, a number of all the free events we've got. We've got Japo drum folks coming, we've got the caricature artists, we've got the balloon artists, the temporary tattoos, just a number of things to celebrate Cleveland and celebrate our community on this one special day.
That's enthusiastic, and that means it's got to be good, and you always have great stuff.
Oh, thank you,
Real
David.
pleasure to see you again.
It's great to see you again.
It's showtime. Still ahead from the big screen to Broadway, Beetlejuice is taking over the stage.
Welcome back to our season announcement show. I have a feeling, Gina, if you say the name of our next musical 3 times, it just might appear here on the stage in Cleveland.
You are so right. It is showtime, and it's Beetlejuice coming right here to the Connor Palace Theater in January. You know, I just can't wait for audiences to see this musical because I found it such a hilarious surprise when I saw it. It, of course, it's very irreverent. It is based on Tim Burton's horror comedy cult movie. And it tells the story of this very quirky, offbeat, young lady named Lydia Dietz, who has this unusual experience when she encounters these 2 people who have passed into another life, and this demon who has a thing for stripes.
I am partial to this because I just loved the movie growing up as a kid, and I'm sure a lot of people who did adore the movie are just screaming now, thinking it's coming through. Eight nominees for Tonys, so I mean, this is one that's gaining a lot of attention.
A lot of attention, directed by Alex Timbers, and it just tells the story in honestly the most fun, the most irreverent way.
Welcome to a show about death. I'm gonna need some help. Hi, I'll be your guide.
What I love about it is it's also a family story as well. So at the end of the day, where there's this sort of like this quirky group of people who have come together, this offbeat teenager, this demon, these 2 people who are of another world, but it really is about family. It's really about making the most of every day, and particularly every day-o.
Every day. There are so many one-liners. I still bring up thoughts of that movie in my head day to day, so I can only imagine. Again, to bring the family, though, to this, I mean, there are maybe some innuendos that might go over the kids' head, but besides, the kiddos would absolutely love this as well.
They will. And the kiddos get more of those innuendos than we give them credit for.
That's true.
So we may have to ask them actually for the answers, what that meant.
Isn't that the truth?
Yeah, but it truly is it's a fun night at the theater. January, after the holidays, you want to get out of those gray January doldrums, come to the Connor Palace Theater because Beetlejuice is the recipe for laughter.
Good holiday gift to give, I have a feeling.
Yes.
I can't wait to see that one. I know it's going to be spectacular. Thanks, Gina.
Thank you.
That beautiful sound.
Shake, 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 Sonora.
Like a beautiful oasis right in the middle of Playhouse Square, the fruit stand has risen, thanks to Jason here. How are you, man?
Absolutely, I'm fantastic.
Hey, last time I talked to you, I thought you were fantastic too. You were, we did the thing back and forth to the studio. You were in Kent, and you got the first fruit stand there. So what lured you here, and what are people going to expect?
Yeah, well, Playhouse Square, it's iconic. It's an iconic Cleveland landmark. And I found this spot, and it was the perfect little nook. Great high ceilings, and had a lot of good characters, so I figured it would be a perfect spot.
I tell you, we need some good nutrition here at Playhouse Square. You know, we got all these people coming in here from around the country. They're performers. They want to eat healthy. Clevelanders, we should eat healthy too, right? Absolutely. So how does this work? What do I do when I come in here?
Yeah, so step number one, you're picking your base type. No matter what kind of base you pick, you're gonna get to put fruits, crunchies, and drizzles on top of that base. Our most popular base is our smoothie bowls, and we have a couple of different flavors that change every week. And so for example, if you were to get a regular size bowl, you would get 3 fruits, a crunchy, and a drizzle on top of that.
So that's pretty good. So it must be hard to choose. Are people stand here all day like trying to pick an ice cream flavor?
Definitely, yeah. The hardest part is the crunchies for sure. There's a lot of good options there. You definitely have your healthy options, and then you have your really fun dessert type.
I like the way you work that out. You got the healthy here, and slowly we move into all the stuff we love for the little toppings. Exactly. I saw some Ohio honey here in the back.
Yes, yeah. Our honey and our granola is from Amish country in Millersburg. That's great. I have 2 great contacts there, so that's where we get our main supply from. It's only about 2 hours away from.
What other sweeteners do you use?
We have agave, and then we have Nutella, melted chocolate, almond butter, peanut butter, whipped cream, maple syrup, a really good local maple syrup as well.
You need a song to go with that wrap. Yeah. You could sing it. Okay, so what would the Moss Man Bowl be? What should we do? Let's put something together.
Are you feeling healthier? You want to go just a classic fruit bowl?
I want to be healthy, but I want to be a little daring and bad.
Sure. All right. Well, I would start it off with a smoothie base. Over here we have the wild strawberry acai. This is made with fruit purees and a little bit of coconut cream.
So it's fun and healthy. Where do we go next?
And then you would be able to pick 3 fruits to go on top of that.
How about blueberries? Look pretty good. Little contrast, right? You say another one?
Yep, you get 2 more.
Grapes?
Grapes, perfect.
Those are good. And how about pineapple?
Perfect. And then you get to pick a crunchy down there.
What's the most dangerous one?
Most dangerous one right now would be like the waffle cone. It's a cinnamon waffle cone, or a birthday cake granola. That is one of our top sellers.
Let's go with that. Okay, now, so when you eat this thing, you dive in with a spoon, a fork, you just stick your head in it? What do you do?
You know, you could go either way, but we give you a spoon, so you can decide from there.
Are those spoons there?
Yes.
Okay, we got a spoon.
Don't forget your drizzle. You're allowed to get a drizzle on there as well. That's kind of important.
Okay, so what kind of drizzle should we
use? So we have honey, Nutella, the almond butter, the peanut butter, agave.
I defer to your experience, Jason. What do I get at the fruit?
I'm gonna have to go with the honey.
Now look at that. Now that's my honey right there. Does that look beautiful or what? Hey, so when are you guys open? When can people come down here?
So we're closed on Mondays, but Tuesday through Saturday it's 9 to 5, and then we close 1 hour early on Sundays.
Boy, is that good. So you can come down here on Sunday?
Absolutely, yeah, till 4 o'clock.
So many people live downtown, so you must have a lot of loyal customers already.
We do have a lot of locals, but it is mainly the college students, and we have a lot of people that work downtown as well, but it's definitely, focus is the college students.
You see how beautiful all this stuff is, folks? I just want you to know, when you walk in here and you see Jason and his team, look around because they decorated it. He did all the painting. Took all day, right?
Oh yeah, more than a day, for sure.
It's a beautiful spot and a welcome item here to Playhouse Square. Thank you very much.
Yeah, absolutely, thank you.
You're the best.
Up next, an essential part of every event at Playhouse Square and how you could be in the middle of it all.
Well, we sure hope that you've been enjoying our season announcement show. I know that I am thrilled with everything that's coming into town. And this next one, Gina, this one has won 8 Tonys, including Best Musical.
Absolutely. Hadestown is the darling of Broadway coming out of the most recent season, and it tells this story that interweaves 2 Greek myths about Orpheus and Eurydice and Hades and Persephone. So actually, everyone should just read a little bit about those Greek myths to just get an understanding in general about the story. But what it does is Orpheus is this fellow who plays guitar, and he's writing love songs for Eurydice, and she gets pulled down. Her curiosities take her down under and gets lured below by Hades and Persephone, his wife. And it's about how he then tries to pursue her to bring her back. It is told in such an interesting, inventive way. The woman who created it, Anais Mitchell, wrote the lyrics, wrote the music, wrote the book.
Wow.
Which is really like, talk about a triple threat, because
Jeez.
that's an enormous talent to be able to bring all of those components together. And the other thing that I love so much about this particular musical is that she is a guitarist. So this is composed on a guitar. And when you, as opposed to a keyboard, because most shows are composed on a keyboard, she's a guitarist. And when you think about how you cradle that particular instrument, to me, that particular way that you approach it and play it means that it sits inside your soul in a different way. And so this has a particular sort of bluesy, deep, thoughtful, ringing in your brain sound that really will stay with you.
Everybody say by the sweat of his brow, the wage is nothing, the work is hard, it's a graveyard in Hadestown.
Way down, Hadestown, way down under the ground.
It's amazing, and I can only imagine how challenging it will be. You look at, ancient Greek mythology, and to try to translate and make something into modern times that we can all appreciate and understand, that in itself is probably a challenge.
It really is a contemporary telling of those ancient Greek myths. And audiences love to be taken on a journey, and sometimes they love to be taken on a journey where they don't know what to expect. And when you go with that and you go to the place where the show is taking you, you just literally feel like you've traveled the globe.
And that is what you will get to do when you go and see Hadestown.
Hadestown.
I'm coming!
Part of the magic here at Playhouse Square is thanks to a group of wonderful volunteers, and they are called the Redcoats. And Cindy, you have a lot to do with the Redcoats, don't you?
I do, and we also have a wonderful team who takes care of our volunteers and makes sure they get scheduled, trained, all of that. It's just a great team to support those volunteers who do so very much for us here at Playhouse Square.
Yeah, let's set this up a little bit. So when you come into the front of the theater, some of the first people you see are these people in red coats, and they're people of all ages,
yes,
all origins, and they are people who want to be here. They want to volunteer to be a participant and help.
Yes, we have such a wonderful group, like you said, all ages, all backgrounds, and they're really, they love Playhouse Square, they love theater, and they love Cleveland, and we are so grateful that they give of their time to support our guests coming to shows. They might serve as ushers or wheelchair escorts or ticket scanners. Whatever it might be, they're there to help our guests have a memorable and enjoyable experience at Playhouse Square.
My experience with them is it's top notch. I mean, when I see them, I know they love theater, I know they love being there, but they seem to love the people coming in. It's almost like they're the glue, the conduit between the outside and the show.
They certainly are, and they're just a wonderful group, and they have so much fun together.
So I imagine some people come to the theater and they see these Redcoats, see how happy they are, and they want to be a participant. They want to be part of that club. How do they do that?
Absolutely, it's really easy. Just go to our website, playhousesquare.org/volunteer. There's an interest form that you fill out, and we actually have an orientation coming up on April 23rd for anyone who might be interested in becoming a Redcoat. Now is the perfect time.
So how many Redcoats do you have right now, and how many do you need?
Right, so right now we have about 1,400, and we usually—
That's a lot.
That is a lot, and I know it sounds like a lot, but we really would like to have more more like 2,000. So there's plenty of room for people who are interested in volunteering.
You know, we talk about the Redcoats, a lot of fun when you walk in. They're happy to see you. You're happy to be there. It's a whole new experience. But they do sort of, they begin the experience for you. They help you get into the experience, I think.
They really are the first people that most people see when they come to Playhouse Square for a show, you know, and it's just lovely to see them all in their matching red coats, ready to help and assist any way they can.
Help you in the dark, in the middle of the show. Sometimes I've needed that, but more than that, sometimes I leave a show that's so wonderful, I'm dizzy from it, and I need help to the door, and the Redcoats are there, Moss Man, over here, this is the way. And they've saved me many a time. It's a great group of people.
It really is, and we are, once again, so grateful for all of their help and support. We couldn't do it without them.
To the Redcoats, thank you.
All right, Gina, this next one. You just need one name, and I'm telling you, you will know every single song of this musical.
Absolutely, Tina. It's the Tina Turner musical. Oh my gosh, does this
can't
woman
wait
have a
for
story?
this. Oh.
She has a voice that you instantly recognize. She has a story to tell that is so inspiring. Not just for the 12 Grammy Awards that she has won and the fact that she is considered the queen of rock and roll, but it is her story of, you know, climbing up and being knocked down and climbing back out of the hole and being knocked down again, and how she has triumphed over tragedy in her life is truly inspiring. But to hear the story and to hear the music is a night that's going to be electrifying at Playhouse Square.
What I love is, you know, for something like this to come to Playhouse Square, we know her as this icon with these incredible songs that we know every word to. But not often do you get to hear how they got to where they are and how they had to struggle through so much to become that star, that icon. And I love that because they become so much more human then to us.
Well, and also you learn about, you know, what they were writing and singing about really was about what was happening in their lives, right? What's love got to do with it? You know,
the songs.
Proud Mary, she'll just keep it rolling and rolling and rolling. But she has so much energy, she has so much spirit, and you follow her story from a young girl, you know, singing in church to like through the stratosphere with stardom. But it truly is a story that is about determination and talent and wisdom. And I suppose her faith also pulled her through so much of that, because that's something that's has been very instilled in her life. I just can't wait for audiences to see it because I'm such a fan of hers, and so and you will actually feel like you have seen Tina Turner live on stage.
Really?
Yeah.
That's what I was just going to say. It's one of those things that makes you feel like you're not just at a musical, you're almost at a concert of hers too then, because you're watching those performances taking place. There is no snoozing during this musical. This will be energy the whole time.
That's right. That's right. You'll be wide awake because you won't want to miss a moment of the Tina Turner musical. She simply is the best.
Simply the best? You're good. You're
Thanks.
good. Coming up, your ticket for an evening of glitz and glamour.
Well, it's time for the jump back ball once again, and here to give us the bird's eye lowdown on this caper is Jeremiah Guaponi. How are you today?
I'm great, David. How are you?
I'm doing great, and this is one of those things that sells out in a big hurry. Been doing it for 30 years, so what's happening this year?
Yeah, so the 30th annual Jump Back Ball, we actually believe it's one of the longest running fundraisers in the greater Cleveland area, so we're really proud to meet our 30th mark this year. And for the first time ever, we're holding the event in June.
June 4th.
Yeah, that's correct.
And so for someone who doesn't know much about it, let's tell them about the ball a little bit.
Yeah, it's sort of a twofold event, right? It's a great party, right? We have live music, we have food, we have open bar, all the things that you want at a great party. But it also supports a great cause in supporting the Playhouse Square education programs.
What's the dress for this party? What's the
Now,
scene?
David, it's a fancy dress party. You're going to have to throw your tie on and maybe maybe your tux if you have it. But we sort of say upscale cocktail attire.
Yeah, so we talk about 30 years we've been doing this, so it's like one of the longest running ones, as you said. So it has to be a great time, but talk about doing great things for great things.
Yeah, so in the 30 years that we've had it, we've had over 20,000 people attend the Jump Back Ball, and we've raised nearly $3 million for the education programs. And these programs support sensory-friendly performances at Playhouse Square, the Disney Musicals in Schools program, and a variety of other things that Playhouse Square does to help students in our local elementary schools who wouldn't get exposure to the performing arts otherwise.
Okay, so you're here. What's your responsibility?
I'm one of the chairs of the event, so this event has been a long time coming with the pandemic. We're excited to put it on this year, and a lot of work's gone into it.
So you listen to this right now and you go like, whoa, I might like to go. I'm going to consider this. Considering this might not be the right thing to do because it sells out so fast it's almost impossible to get a ticket.
Tickets are hard to get, David, but people can go to playhousesquare.org to get tickets. I'm sure that there'll still be a few available. You want to hop on it pretty quickly.
Okay, let's walk them through an evening at the party a little bit from your experience over the years.
Yeah, so you're going to show up at 8 o'clock and you're going to walk the red carpet just like it's the Oscars in Hollywood.
That's pretty good.
It is, yep. So they'll walk along the carpet or along Euclid Avenue, get your photo taken by the paparazzi, go into the event, enjoy some refreshment. We'll have some, casino games, that sort of thing. We'll kick off the live music where people will have the opportunity to actually dance on the stage of the State Theaters.
That's pretty good.
It's pretty cool.
Not many people get that chance to go up on the stage and look out at the house.
Unless you're in a touring performance from New York City, you don't get that opportunity.
It's really awe-inspiring, isn't it?
It is. It's a lot of fun. Yeah. So as the party continues, then we'll have a little after party, just like they would out in Hollywood with a discotheque theme. We're really excited that we have a female DJ, DJ Knick-Knack, who will be doing that.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah.
And the food?
The food is all provided by the Playhouse Square official caterer. There will be heavy hors d'oeuvres and all sorts of delicious things to munch on throughout the night.
That's great. And you'll be signing autographs?
I'll be signing autographs. I hope that you'll be there with me as well, David.
Oh, that's right.
You might command a little higher price than mine.
Oh, I don't know about that, but boy, it's a terrific time and get to meet some new friends too.
Yeah, I've actually made a lot of my friends by attending the Jump Back Ball, so you'll get to know a lot of people.
I've seen photographs and it looks like a great time.
It is. I hope you'll turn out, and I hope your viewers will turn out as well.
And don't get shut out. Thank you very much.
Thanks, David.
Another winner for Best Musical. It is time to pop that champagne and feel like $1 million. Moulin Rouge is coming to town.
And I will tell you that when you walk into the theater, you will feel like you have just entered the club. It is lush, it's lavish, it's seductive. It is everything that this story tells you is what you actually feel when you first enter the room.
Oh, I think this audience is going to be just thrilled to have this. This is one where the set, the costumes themselves, the dancing, everything is kind of over the top.
No matter your sin, you're welcome here. No matter your desire, you're welcome here.
Absolutely over the top. And that's what the story is telling, because it is a lawless kind of presentation of deception and manipulation and how people are conniving to get what they want from each other. Of course, there is embedded a love story in all of this, but it's based on Baz Luhrmann's revolutionary film, and it's true to the storytelling of that. And what I love so much is it has this, it uses a catalog of popular music, so you will know all the songs, which are really wonderful. But to me, the physical production tells the story in such a particular way. I am a huge fan of Derek McLean, who is the set designer, and the way that he just combines scenery and brings you it truly envelops the audience in such a particularly sensuous is the only word I can think to describe it, because it's so luscious you'll want to take a bite out of it. In contrast with that are Catherine Zuber's costumes, who are just minimalist.
Yeah,
and you,
of course.
But you understand how good of a designer someone is when they can handle minimal designs inside of a lavish frame. It's directed by Alex Timbers, who won the Tony Award. You'll understand why when you see it. And it's a night at the theater that you won't want to miss.
So date night, but I also see this is a great girls' night thing to go and do as well.
Absolutely, absolutely. A great girls' night out. Allow enough time for the cosmopolitans afterwards so you can talk about what you just saw, because you're going to see a lot.
To put it blatantly, you're going to see a lot, but that is what I think people expect from this. It's like, if you can't get over to Paris, you're seeing it here.
You're seeing it here, and how appropriate, because the architecture of the Conner Palace is French Provençal, so you'll feel like you have walked right into the grandest opera house of Paris.
I honestly have goosebumps just thinking about it, and I know that a lot of you out there are feeling the same way. It is one we do not want to miss this season. It's going to be spectacular.
Absolutely.
Welcome to the Moulin Rouge.
Last but not least, when we return, it's the final show in the 2022-23 KeyBank Broadway series. Welcome back to our season announcement show. I can't believe we're down to the last one.
Hard to believe.
And this one, Gina, pun intended, has people losing their heads over it.
It does. It's Six the musical. It's taken London, it's taken Broadway by storm. This tells the story of the 6 wives of King Henry VIII. They were divorced, beheaded, died, divorced, beheaded, survived.
Listen up, let me tell you a story. Welcome to the show, to the history.
What we know is so little about their lives. We know how they died. And so this musical, which is actually a contemporary rock pop take on their stories, so we learn about them in the most contemporary way, because they are all vying to say who suffered the most as the wife of King Henry VIII, and whoever wins that contest is going to be the lead in their group. But they decide they're just going to form a girl group. They're leaving King Henry VIII out of it, and they're moving forward. It's a real girl power musical. I will tell you, the cast album for this is unbelievable about how many people know the lyrics. I just saw this in New York 2 weeks ago, and I was shocked at how many people knew the lyrics to every song.
Because this is brand spanking new.
It is brand spanking new, but it's energizing, it's fun, it's an easy night at the theater. 6, that's the title. You might want to see it that many times.
Really?
Because you learn the music and you want to come back and see the characters again. So actually it's a good idea, I think, to listen to the cast album in advance, just so you can have that in your ear and understand what they're singing about. But it comes at you fast, and you'll want to see it again and again.
Well, talk about such a serious topic, and then that turning into something that is quite hilarious.
I know. It has humor. It has light. It talks about what their accomplishments were, and about ultimately how little King Henry mattered to them, because they all have their own stories to tell. They all have their own accomplishments. They all are women, and they're women who are now empowered to tell their story. Honestly, it is a lot of fun. It's going to be a huge surprise for the audience this year.
We're 6.
Definitely one to mark on those calendars. Speaking of female power, Gina, I think of you and I think, just thank you for bringing such a wonderful lineup this season.
Oh, well, thank you. It's thank you, Cleveland, because we have such great audiences here in Cleveland. Our season ticket base for the KeyBank Broadway series is the largest in the United States, so I can tell you every show wants to come to Playhouse Square.
There's a reason. You do it. You show up in those seats and you make it happen, and I cannot wait. For every single one that's coming, it is going to be one incredible season.
It is a spectacular season, and it's really terrific for us to be launching it now in the way that we have done this traditionally. You all have been such great partners in helping us get our story out and engaging the world into coming to Playhouse Square, because it is really about being here for the shows. It's also about being a part of the scene, because just coming to these grand theaters is just something that's wonderful and beautiful and engaging. And you know, thanks to you, it's really this is the envy of the country, is what's happening here at Playhouse Square in Cleveland, Ohio.
And it is really amazing to be a part of that. It is our pleasure. And thank you for this wonderful day today.
Well,
wonderful
thank
hour.
you.
Hope you've enjoyed it too. Thank you, Gina.
Thank you. Look forward to seeing all of you at the theater.
And that wraps up our first look at the 2022-2023 Key Bank Broadway series coming to Playhouse Square.
So individual tickets do not go on sale until later this year, but if you want those tickets now, you can become a season ticket holder. Go to playhousesquare.org/Broadway for more information. I'm Natalie Herbeck.
And I'm David Moss, and we'll see you on the next
New Day Cleveland.